Good morning, Utah. If you're waking up this morning, you probably felt what we all did here today. There's been a massive earthquake in the Wasatch Front. Now, we felt it here at the station in Salt Lake City, and we're just getting reports as we're calling some of our loved ones here this morning to find out where they felt it too.
We're also still feeling small tremors and aftershocks here, so it's really important that you from home are being safe. Stay near door frames. If you can get to safe areas of your home, aftershocks can sometimes be even stronger than the initial earthquake.
Right.
So it's extremely important that through this next couple of hours, we are close to safe areas.
So we just got a report here from Erica Martin in the weather department. They've checked on the size of the earthquake. They're saying it's a 5.7 magnitude quake. Now, for years, right, Utah has been talking about, the state of Utah has been warning us that this was possible, that a massive earthquake of this size would hit our state. I mean, we live on the Wasatch Front, the fault line there. We've been being told to be prepared for quite some time. That it was not a matter of if, but when, and today is when.
We remember about a year ago we had a massive cluster of much smaller earthquakes, but again a 5.6 magnitude we're hearing just now this morning. That's extremely large. We don't know exactly where the epicenter of that is, but again, we were feeling it. We felt it very strongly here at our station in West Valley City. I have family in Lehigh, friends in Lehigh were telling me they felt it. People in Ogden, we've got people in West Jordan, South Jordan who felt it as well. So this has really hit the Wasatch Front. Yeah,
and you see like some of the tremors that we've had at least in here in Salt Lake, about 3 tremors after the fact. And I can tell you it's nerve-wracking. As you probably felt yourself, like there's a lot of fear and panic. Not only are we dealing with the coronavirus, but now then you feel that earthquake come through. You know, we all kind of here at the station ran to like get underneath a doorway. Some people didn't quite know what to do, so we kind of get underneath the desk. You're just kind of glad that it wasn't worse, that we didn't have any, so far we haven't had any reports of major damage. I know I talked to my mom, one of the first people I called, and said, how are you doing? And she answered the phone and said she had a cabinet with a lot of collectibles, like ceramic figurines, that fell over. So you had some things that shook up and fell over there. So you're seeing right here, like, get that website. In fact, can we bring the camera a little closer here for the guys here in the crew? Because it's tough for us to see how close what you're seeing actually here at home. So there you go, right? Our internet was down for a good portion of the last couple minutes. But now we can finally kind of connect back to the internet, and you're seeing right here a 5.7 magnitude earthquake.
Looks like we also have an epicenter now 3 miles from Magna, Utah. That's extremely close to us right now. I think this is definitely the largest earthquake we've seen in a long time close to this. We can give it to Erica Martin now, who's got some more information on this latest quake.
Hi, so Brian and Sarah, thank you so much for doing a great job there. The entire team, we're keeping safe, of course. We're standing in doorways. I'm so happy that so many cities are involved in the those earthquake activities that we have often, and in fact, our engineer Mike is part of that team, the seismic activity team. So it was a 5.7 magnitude in Magna, Utah, and that's in Salt Lake County, and it's part of the Wasatch Front fault line. It's about 240 miles long. Very active weather. You understand, tectonic plates are absolutely intriguing. You know, oftentimes we have to study seismography, and in this case, it's one active fault line right now that was 5.7. We were feeling some aftershocks, still feeling some couple just now, and so what I can advise, I'm advising my team right now, is to just stay in a location where there's nothing that really could just fall on you. But it's a 5.7 magnitude that has occurred, the Wasatch Front, that fault zone, and again, the fault line is about 240 miles long. We'll be posting more updates for you online, but at this point I do need our team to be very safe because it's not done. We're still feeling some jolts, and my concern is how safe we're doing in here. All right, so you guys be safe as well. Please stand in a doorway and stand away from anything that could be hanging, any chandeliers or anything like that. Of
course, you bet. Of course, thank you, Erica Martin. I just was texting Reagan Ledbetter, right, from Good Things Utah. She felt it in Park City. So she said she was in the shower this morning and felt that shaking come through. Yeah, I can't imagine.
A scary place to be for an earthquake. Google has an interesting map that you can respond to if you felt that earthquake. So we are seeing things all the way up north of Logan, even into the southern part of Idaho, down to Provo. It looks like that's where we've seen. Looks like that Utah Test and Training Range there, just west of Provo. So we are seeing that this hit extremely hard again in Magna. 5.7 earthquake. We felt it extremely hard here in Salt Lake City. Again, tremors, aftershocks are sometimes the most dangerous part of an earthquake. So that initial tremor, very hard, but please stay near the doorways, be safe this morning.
And of course, we have Jared Giaccinini out live reporting this morning. We're talking about restaurants with the coronavirus. You're out, we're in the building here at the studio here, Jared. What was it like for you out there live?
Well, we were actually at Smith's Bakery here in Sugarhouse. We were talking about bread, and I'm a little out of breath, still a little shaken up here. We were inside the building at the time. My photographer actually rolled on the entire thing. It felt like a car smashed into the side of the building. The lights were swinging. We were in a bakery, and things were rolling around. It was a little shocking, and it happened very fast. But like I said, we're outside of Schmidt's Bakery, and you can see they did experience some damage on the side of their building. Their owner is standing by right here, and he says that that crack there towards the top right of the building wasn't there this morning when this all started. But again, it was very shocking. I still kind of feel on edge a little bit. I don't know, are you about to take him live? Hey, let's get the owner in here. We have the owner of Schmidt's Pastry in here. Remind me of your name again, sir?
Yeah, Brett Borg.
Brett Borg. What was it like in there when this was all going down?
You know, it just kind of caught us all off guard. We had customers in there, employees in there, and it just, first you didn't really know what was going on. It kind of felt like, you said, a car slammed into the building, which has happened here before. But then when it didn't cease and it kept going, it kind of, everyone in the lobby, we all kind of got weak in the knees and didn't know how to respond, and some people.
You've lived here for your whole life, and
yeah, 37 years I've lived here and never felt anything like that.
And you were saying that this community can't handle something else.
No, I mean, we're going through some hard times. 2020 has been rough, and I mean, I've been in this bakery. I don't know. I haven't been able to look online and see what the damage is everywhere. I see power outs across the street, and you know, I just hope that it's not going to have much lasting impact on people, because really we're kind of at wit's end. We got to, hopefully nothing more happens, you know.
Regardless of closures from COVID-19 or this earthquake now, we're still going to be handing out bread.
Yeah, yes, we're handing out bread today. I'll have to make sure that all of our ovens are working now, our proof boxes are working, our mixers are working, so I don't know what kind of electrical damage or anything that we'll be experiencing. But I mean, our commitments to this free bread thing was that we'll do it as long as possible, and looks like nature doesn't want it to continue, but we'll keep fighting for it.
Brett, thank you this morning. Again, folks, we're in Sugarhouse, and we just heard that, was it 5.7 magnitude earthquake? Felt like a car hit the side of the building, still a little shaken up here. Some buildings here did experience minor damage, but still very fluid here, and we'll continue to monitor this scene here and bring you the very latest. Reporting live, Jared Giaccinini, ABC 4 News.
Thank you, Jared. It's amazing to see that you had damage on the building there this morning.
We're waiting to see. I mean, that was such a large earthquake. I'm very confident that there will be some damage to roadways. Again, our roads are wet this morning. There will be damage to roadways. When you're in I've never personally been in a car, but they say that when you're in a car experiencing an earthquake, it feels like your tires are popping, possibly that you're in an accident. So check on your loved ones that are possibly driving at this point. We may see some damage to roadways, to possibly to bridges. So keep that in mind as you're forced to travel today, if you need to travel at some point today. You
know, I can tell you that just kind of going through this as you probably are, just kind of my heart is still racing a little bit. Trying to calm down a little bit from feeling those shocks. Now, we just felt, as you saw Jared Giaccinini's report, we felt another tremor, another aftershock from that initial earthquake. And
we're now up to 5 or 6 tremors.
5 or 6 tremors, and there could be more. Sometimes these tremors, if we've talked with earthquake experts over the years, there could be dozens of tremors here. And I should mention as well, since we're here at the desk with the whole COVID-19 coronavirus, we felt it was just easier to kind of take some caution here with us being as close to as we are, where we're trying to, again, practice social distancing with the virus. That's still a concern this morning. But with our limitations for what we can bring you here, Sarah and I are at the desk to kind of give you the latest up-to-date coverage.
We also want you to know that one of the safest places in our studio is underneath our large desk
right here.
We're making sure that our floor crew, we have quite the lighting set up in these studios. We're making sure our floor crew is staying away from lights, that they're being safe.
But if of course, you have situations at your house, like you're wondering, where do I go? What do I need to be? Under a door frame is one of those places that earthquake experts say you need to be. And we can probably tell you that there are going to be areas along the Wasatch Front. Sugarhouse is an area that's an issue. You have near the Capitol is going to be an issue. And I know that they retrofitted the Capitol a number of years ago to withstand an earthquake like this. They have like a live look here at downtown Salt Lake. You can see a lot of the buildings are still in place. One thing to note here this morning on this particular live shot is the temple, right? You remember the temple just went under construction at the end of the year. Part of that construction that again is expected to last 4 years is for earthquake retrofitting. So that's what they're doing at the Salt Lake Temple right now. So you can see, obviously, they're just getting started with that construction, but the temple's still standing there this morning, as well as everything else out there. It doesn't feel like the majority of those buildings are going to be having huge problems, but we saw this morning in Jared Giottanini's live hit that he's out there in Salt Lake in Sugarhouse. There was a business, had cracks in that building.
We are seeing damage from this earthquake already, and we will get more reports of damage pour in as the morning goes on. Again, here, magnitude 5.7 earthquake about 3 miles north of Magna, Utah, happened at 7:09. We'll give you to Jared Giottanini now, who's live in Salt Lake.
Stand by. We're live here at Sugarhouse. We were covering Schmidt's Bakery here, handing out free bread because of all the COVID-19 closures, and just about 20 minutes ago, the entire building started shaking, lights started moving, the things inside the bakery started moving, chairs started rattling. It felt like a car hit the side of the building, and just a couple minutes ago, the owner of the building says that that crack up there towards the top right of the building was not there before this, so it was strong. We aren't smelling any gas in the area, and that was a major concern for the homeowner here standing next to me, David Henriksen. You live right next door to the bakery. What did you feel just moments ago?
It was amazing. I mean, I've never felt anything like this. I've been through hurricanes. I lived in Puerto Rico. I've been through everything but an earthquake, so this is a new experience for me.
Why was gas such a big concern for you?
Because I've heard that, you know, when earthquakes happen, that gas should be shut off. You know, it could rupture, you know, so I was a little concerned, but not now. I think things have calmed down a little bit. We may get some more aftershocks, but I think we'll be all right.
And in those moments we were inside with you, the first thing for you to do was come and check on your neighbor.
Yeah, that was my boss. You know, I work for Schmidt's, so I'm the banquet chef, but I'm at the 106 South location. But we had a lot of glass breaking in the house, not any of the windows, but some antiques and stuff like that. So,
is there a huge mess in there? Anything that you can recover?
Yeah, we can recover it. Yeah. So
it all happened fast within moments. What was initially going through your mind?
I knew it was an earthquake, you know, because it got really intense. But I was worried about the safety of my wife and myself. So, yeah, because this is an older building. I don't know if it's wood frame or stucco, and wood tends to, you know, shake during earthquakes. So, you know, I was a little concerned about that. But.
And you lived in Salt Lake a long time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and we've never experienced anything like this. I remember back in high school there was a small one in the morning, but that's the first one I've ever really experienced.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Right.
So the neighbor you just heard from here said there was some glass breaking inside of his house. We have a crack on the side of the building. We're kind of in an isolated area right now in Sugarhouse. We don't know if there's any widespread damage as of now, but again, to reiterate, just a few minutes ago, we were inside of Schmidt's Bakery, and it felt as if a car hit the side of the building. The ground felt like it was, here's some sirens going on behind us here too, not sure what that's all about. It felt as if the ground was quicksand, like everything was fluid, but I'm sure we will have more information coming out on this shortly. Reporting live, Jared Giottanini, ABC 4 News.
Thank you, Jared. So as Jared's talking to us from Sugarhouse here this morning, we can tell you that we're getting reports from people feeling those aftershocks, feeling the earthquake from all over the Wasatch Front. Let me just give you a couple here. My aunt just texted me. She lives in South Salt Lake. She felt it. My mother lives in West Valley City. She felt it. We're actually feeling another tremor here, another aftershock right now. We have, my girlfriend lives in Ogden. She felt it this morning. She has a couple of kids. They were all panicking underneath the stairs here this morning. You checked in with people in Lehigh, right?
Yep, I have people in Lehigh. They felt it very strongly. I have people in South Jordan also felt it very strongly. I'm seeing my family message boards blow up because people are checking in with each other, making sure that they're okay. We definitely recommend doing that. Make sure that your family members are okay. But it is important to remember at this time, do not leave your home. We're still in this danger zone where we might see large aftershocks. Again, aftershocks can be larger than the initial earthquake itself. So we want to remain in safe spaces near your door frame. Do not leave your home at this point. It is good though. We heard in that last interview the gentleman was concerned about gas lines. That's a great thing to be concerned about. Those
Yeah.
are underneath the ground.
Yeah.
They can definitely snap during these kinds of events. So, I mean, take a second. This is a really stressful situation. You might be feeling a lot of fear right now. Take some deep breaths, smell your home, do a little bit of a visual check on the people that you love and your home and your space. Make sure that you're immediately safe before you go and make sure that others are safe.
Yeah, and of course you got to make sure to take care of you first and then go and make sure everybody else is doing okay too. So we want to give you some from the tools that we have here to show you how widespread this is and what we're seeing so far. We have information. This is from the airport right there at the Salt Lake International Airport. Just moments afterwards, we have one of our digital members on our crew here with ABC4 News who's at the airport this morning, just taking a quick video to kind of give you a scan of what it looks like for the people who are there. So that gives you an idea for where things are at. I know we're working on connecting with our own Reagan Ledbetter. We have Alana Brophy just texted me this morning. She's saying she woke up in Bountiful to the earth shaking.
Lots of people waking up to this earthquake this morning,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, so we have Jared is out there, again, talking with more people who are feeling direct effects of this earthquake. Here, Jared, who do you have now?
Well, Brian, we have a neighbor here, but first I want to explain we were inside of Schmidt's here, the local bakery, just a few minutes ago, and it felt as if the entire building was hit by a car. Lights were moving. It was scary. Wanda Brown here. You live on 2100
South and between 5th and 6th East.
When you first walked up to me, what was your initial thoughts?
I thought, I don't even know what to think. My whole house was shaking. I was embarrassingly on the bathroom and it threw me off the toilet, and I had to grab my daughter and our dogs, and we just got in our car and just sat there. And so,
Any damage inside?
not that I can see, but I didn't want to stay inside my house just in case, and I know you're probably supposed to, but we kind of freaked out, and so we took all of our animals and got in the car and came over to Schmidt's.
Right, our anchors are reminding us deep breaths. We all experienced this together, and to stay inside. So, what was going through your mind in those moments? It happened so fast.
I thought a big truck was coming down our street, honestly, and then when the house started to sway, I've never seen my walls sway like that, and then my animals started freaking out, and I just thought, oh no, maybe it is the end of the world with Corona and the earthquake, and I was like, please, let's just get out of the house, because I've never been in an earthquake. I didn't know what to do, so we're like, get out of the house, get out of the house. And so we grabbed all of our animals and
we can kind of look together here. Will, I don't know if you can show that.
Oh my gosh.
That wasn't there this morning. The owner of the bakery says that the earthquake was so strong that it caused a crack there on the side of his building.
Well, that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about my water lines and my gas lines, because that was pretty strong, and we live in an old neighborhood, so I don't want, any of those kinds of issues either.
Have you lived in Utah your whole life? Have you ever experienced something like this?
Never. I mean, you've felt like the little tiny ones that are like just shake your house a little bit, barely, but this one.
Obviously, we're having some technical issues there with Jared's live shot here. I want to just give you an update from what we're seeing here. Now, Google making some great resources available. You're getting some information I'm looking at here from earthquake.usgs.gov. So now you're looking here at a map that's giving you some of the information. I can tell you that all these tremors we've been feeling here, they've been documented on the website. So let me give you just some of the latest ones. At 7:14, we had another 2.8 magnitude earthquake about 3 miles away from Magna. 1 minute later, in Magna, 4 miles away, there was a 3.7 magnitude aftershock. Then you had, at the same time, you had another aftershock at 3.5 magnitude quake, same distance from Magna. 7:18 this morning, you had a 3.4 magnitude earthquake, and that's not all of them. We've had at least 3 or 4 aftershocks after that have really kind of, again, make you unsettled. They make you nervous because we all felt that first one, that big one. Everyone's been feeling it this morning. I'm getting reports from Ogden to Park City to Bountiful to South Salt Lake. When you look at the map you're seeing on your screen, you see the epicenter right there in Magna, and then it starts to grow out from there. Now you're seeing like where that's being felt. I mean, Ogden, Provo, they have a different map here that shows you some different colors. That one you see the main center right there in the middle, but the effect they're saying stretches out as far as the Utah-Wyoming border. You've got all the way to Utah's West Desert, just above Ogden, maybe down into just below Provo, maybe Beaver possibly this morning.
This intensity map here, you're seeing those colors. The closer to red it is, the more intense it is. So here in Utah, again, 5.7. experts reporting here that we actually had a moderate to high moderate earthquake here. Highest earthquake ever recorded was 9.7 on that Richter scale. We want to give it to Erica Martin, though, who has some more information about our fault line here in Utah. We know we've been expecting this earthquake for a long time. Erica Martin, what can you tell us?
Okay, so Sarah and Brian, my concern here is that we're still getting aftershocks, okay? This is a very unique fault line here. It's a vertical fault in that it moves up and down. So that's actually how the Wasatch Front was created by Mother Nature. Unfortunately, it oftentimes moves underneath. There could be various things that happen, fracking, other things. However, there's certainly some up and down movement, and that's what we're feeling right now. Sometimes, like when you go along the San Andreas Fault, that's a transverse fault. That's where you kind of feel it go more like this. And this is the shift of the plates, of the tectonic plates. In this case, what we're seeing is an up and down movement, and this is why it's shaking some more. Another aftershock. I recommend that you stand in a doorway and be safe. This isn't something to be just very careless about, because we're getting so many aftershocks. Again, this was a 5.7 as we first discussed, and then all of the following aftershocks, the strongest that we've ever seen or have recorded as 9.7. The Richter scale measures the amount of energy being released in this particular earthquake. So this is why we're being very mindful. We're talking about the release of energy, potential energy that's going on in the actual earth. So this is why this is pretty strong, especially that it's a 5.7, considering again it's a vertical fault line moving up and down the Wasatch Front. That fault line is about 240 miles long, and that's why you're seeing a really wide area, a wide scope of that earthquake activity.
Thank you much, Erica. So I'm just getting a text message here from Dan Farr, who was the co-founder of Salt Lake Comic-Con sorry, I'm getting all my words mixed up. FanX Salt Lake Comic Convention. He says his niece lives in Logan. They felt it all the way up there. So you can see how widespread this is beginning to be. Getting reports here from as far east so far as what we've seen here from direct reporting: Park City, Ogden, Logan. Obviously, Magna is the epicenter, so they felt it far west of Magna as well. But then we also have someone who at the airport from our team here.
Kara Dotson, our digital editor here at ABC4, was at the earthquake this morning, attempting to fly out when this earthquake hit. Kara, you're on live now. How are you? Are you okay?
Yes, I am good. I thought I was going to be worried about coronavirus at the airport, but instead it's an earthquake. So right now, TSA is not accepting anybody through the lines. When the earthquake hit, we all just sort of dropped to the ground. I was walking right up to the gate to check my bag in when it happened. Immediately the lights went out. Everybody was screaming. The walls were shaking. The power was flashing in and out, in and out. The computers went down. And then we were all okay. Nobody was hurt. There was nobody, nothing dropped from the ceiling or anything like that. Right. But now we are just kind of at a standstill. I am knowing about social distancing. We are definitely not practicing social distancing in this airport right now, which I'm stuck in a corner over here just in case there are aftershocks, just to be safe. And I'm trying to keep my distance from people, but there's certainly a large crowd in here right now, and we're all kind of on standby. We were told all Delta employees are outside. They are not checking anyone in at this time. The TSA is on hold. So we're kind of just at a standby. I was able to check in, but I haven't dropped my bag yet. So I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens here.
Right. What information are you getting? Are you getting any information from airport employees there at this point?
One of the airport employees, at first we were told to evacuate. Everybody evacuated. Then they said we can come back inside. Now we're all inside because it's a little chilly out there. Mm-hmm. And then we were told all Delta employees are meeting together in a different area, and they will not be able to help us right now. So we're all kind of just sitting around with our bags waiting to see what happens next. A Delta employee did kind of shout to everyone, just so you know, we're working on it. We're not sure what is next in this step. TSA is not accepting people, so we will not be checking anyone else in. And so I'm just kind of sitting here at the front. I haven't even gone through the TSA line yet.
How are you feeling right now, Kira? This is Brian. I know that we're on the phone with Sarah. Are you feeling any better right now than moments ago? Is everyone else kind of in that same boat?
You know what? It seems just like a delay at the airport right now at this point. I have to admit, as you guys know, you felt it too. That was so scary. Everyone's still a little bit shaky. We keep feeling aftershocks. And you're like, is that an aftershock or am I dizzy? But right now things are calm here. We're just kind of being patient. Everybody is just waiting to see what happens next.